this work? Nice. Yeah. Boom.
Hi.
Let's get this party started. Who's got some questions? Yes, right there.
Yes. My question is for Norman Reedus. Since your character in The Walking Dead is not from the comic, do you get more freedom in your portrayal than the other actors?
Yeah, I guess so. I can sleep with whoever I want, kill whoever I want. Yeah, I think so. I mean, one good thing about being on one of the good things about being on the show is that they've helped me, or let me help develop the character from scratch. So, you know, you kind of get to do these little subtle things and they turn into storylines, you know. So it's good, yeah, you know. Sure.
Yes. Say it again?
The Young and the Restless.
Because a buddy of mine is a producer and he asked me to do it. And I thought, hell yeah, let's do it. I had a good time doing it too. Yes.
Nope.
Yeah, the question is, did I have fun working on the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles and a favorite scene? There was so much stuff going on. I mean, obviously that was my first big gig. You know, if it wasn't for Young Indy, I wouldn't be here today. It opened every door that's open to me today. And probably the most memorable thing that happened is we were filming in the Congo. When I say the Congo, I mean the Congo. Landed in Nairobi, took 2 Twin Otter aircrafts, about 3 hours out, did a low altitude pass to make the gazelles get out of the way, landed, took land cruises another 3 hours to the Tana River, took canoes about another 4 miles down the Tana River to where it intersected the Indian Ocean. And one of the most memorable things I've ever experienced in my life, we met some Masai Mara, some natives that had never seen white people, that didn't know what video was, and I remember I traded my Walkman, and 2 cassettes, Jimi Hendrix Smashed Hits and Led Zeppelin Remastered. I traded them, my Walkman and 2 cassettes, and I remember the first time that I put the headphones on, this guy became my friend because we were playing hacky sack. Me and the Masai Mara were out there playing hacky sack and it was blowing their mind. We became really good friends, although we couldn't speak the same language. And I remember when I put the headphones on, the first thing he did, and I pushed play, this is exactly what he did. He went, oh, you could just see it was the most wonderful thing. And also when I'd videotape the campfire and I would play the videotape of the fire, he was like afraid to touch it. He was like he didn't know if it was going to be hot. It was crazy. And in exchange, he gave me 5 Ethiopian crosses that I still have this day. That they melt them, they melt the silver, they bang them out, they design them themselves, so I left with that. To me, it was the best deal in the world. To him, it was the best deal in the world, getting like a Walkman and audio cassettes that I could replace, you know, easily. And I left with 2 Ethiopian crosses, so that was a mind-blowing experience. You know, I traveled the world, I saw things I'd never see again, so it was a killer.
I've been told that if they keep the mic very close to your mouth, it should work wonders.
It still doesn't work wonders. Who's next?
This is a question for Norman. If there was an actual zombie outbreak, what would your strategy be and how long do you think you'd last?
I'd probably last a week. I would climb to the top floor of a really nice hotel. Try to watch South Park and probably just cry until it's over.
Ciao. Hi. When
That's all right. Just yell. Yes. Loud.
when you are on the set, are you afraid about the other guys, zombies, and other monsters?
Am I afraid of zombies and mustard? Is that what it was? I love mustard. No, I mean, you know, you'll go to the craft service table and there'll be a bunch of zombies drinking coffee and smoking cigarettes and bullshitting. But I don't know, the way that Greg Nicotero makes our zombies is he makes, he's really, really good at it. I mean, he's an Emmy Award-winning special effects artist, but he makes them, you see the sad, sick, dying person behind the monster, you know what I mean? So those are scary because I don't want to get old and die and get sick. But no, on set people just, you know, we're normal people, we just hang out. I think that was right. Was that the right question? Okay.
I gotta admit, even for me, it must be weird being at lunchtime and seeing all the zombies with their makeup and everything, just eating macaroni and cheese like it's normal. Yeah. Who's got another question?
Yeah, I know you have sisters. I'm not sure if you have brothers or siblings, but what is it like playing twins? And I know how much fun you had in Boondock Saints. It was amazing that you wrestled in a crate and everything. Do you have that rapport with each other offset as well?
Yeah. I've known Reedus since before we even shot the first Boondock. So, I mean, we've been friends now for 15 years. You know, we've been, you know, I see him all the time. He's got his motorcycle in my garage. It's, we know each other very well, you know. And so it does make it easier whenever you're playing that kind of relationship when you already have it, you know. But I've known him for eons. I got so much dirt on this guy, it would blow your mind. Having said that, he's got dirt on me too, so I gotta shelve it out very limitedly. Who's the next? Yes.
You've probably been asked this before. What was it like working with Billy Connolly?
Hang on, one second. We got one right here. We got one right here. What is it? She asked, what character have you played where you feel the closest to the character?
Wow, I'm a lot like Daryl, actually. I'm a lot not like Daryl as well. I'm very insecure. Not well in crowds. I don't trust anybody. I'm not good with the ladies, really. You know, 6 Ways to Sunday. 6 Ways to Sunday a lot, like that character. I freak out. That's like me. Murphy, I'm a lot like Murphy. I like to cause problems, you know. Travis, I did all the artwork in that, by the way. So I'm a lot like that guy. I think you bring a lot of yourself. If you do it correctly, you bring a lot of yourself, you know, in little ways to whatever you do, right?
I think there's got to be a part of you that's in just about every character. You know, some more than others, but I think if you don't have carnal knowledge of that life experience, then it comes off really fake and inauthentic. So there's a part of you in every character, really. Very well. Now, I'm sorry, who
Yeah, the lady over here wanted to know what it was like to work with Billy Connolly.
Killer. I mean, the guy's got one of the quickest minds I've ever sat next to. I mean, he truly is, and his life experience is a second to none. This guy's got stories with David Bowie, Mick Jagger, and he tells us stories like I'm saying, yeah, so me and Norman were here. He's like, yeah, so I was having lunch with Margaret Thatcher, and she was telling me about this political, you're like, and he's not kidding, he's dead serious. I mean, he's truly a gem. I think me and Reedus have both worked with people that we really don't want to work with again, and then there's people that like you'd go to their dinner anytime if it was a 5-hour drive. Billy's one of those cats, you know, he's just a really genuine cat.
Yeah, he had a friend of his that was doing an art show, and they were making communion wafers, you know, like that thing, and he was making fake ones, and the name of the show was I Can't Believe It's Not Jesus. And, he's awesome, he's super, and the ladies love Billy. They freak out, yeah.
Yes.
obviously you've both been involved in shows in the past that were shot almost back to back or almost at the same time. Is it difficult to juggle your schedule and also still have a family life?
Yeah, it's really hard. I don't, you know, it's hard to have like girlfriends and stuff like that, because you're constantly rolling, you know. So there's that, and I have a son in New York, so I'm constantly flying back to see my son. Like we just had a Comic-Con in New York, and I had like 5,000 people sing happy birthday to him because his birthday. It was awesome. But yeah, he's real proud of me. I'm real proud of him, and we see each other as much as possible. But yeah, it's all that shit's really hard, to be honest.
You know, I mean, there's really not a lot of room to complain when you have jobs like me and Reedus have, because you know, I think we're very fortunate to do stupid things on camera and get paid for it. So there's not a lot of room to complain. But having said that, yeah, with such an erratic lifestyle, you know, you're flying to a different place. Sometimes your shooting schedule is all nights and you're sleeping during the day. Sometimes your shooting schedule is all day and you're sleeping during the nights. So it does make things a little difficult. Having said that, I certainly don't want to sound like I'm complaining, because I wouldn't trade it for the world. I absolutely wouldn't trade it for the world.
As the Boondock Saints, how was it to go back into the character after being away for 10 years while making the second movie?
Nada. Niente. It was, you know, I mean, it was something that we did 10 years ago, but I mean, we've lived and breathed it for quite some time, so it wasn't that difficult. I mean, it just fit like an old glove, you know, to be honest.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, what? Yeah, it felt like we were getting back on the same old bicycle. The enthusiasm was there, and all the same heads were in the room. It was fun. I mean, the second story was much different than the first story. There was a bunch of new characters, and you know, I think Troy spent a lot of time with the new guys on part 2, and kind of just let us do our thing again. But yeah, it was fun.
I have a question for Norman. Did you have to learn to be skilled in crossbow for Walking Dead? Because you use it so many times.
Yeah, I was explaining this yesterday. There's yeah, we have a really good weapons expert, and he teaches you all these different weapons, and AK-47s and M16s and all sorts of fun stuff. You know, in Boondock we shot lots of bullets, but the crossbow is it's sort of a weird weapon, because it's the type of weapon that you go someplace high, hopefully, pull out all your bolts, you lay them down, and you pick things off, you know. Sometimes in the show they'll write it as if it was an automatic weapon, where you just come running in and just blast shit. And it doesn't. That becomes hard, because that becomes more of like a math problem. I was explaining this yesterday, but you can hold the crossbow, but you can't shoot an arrow on camera. They put a digital arrow in, but they have to see you put the arrow in the crossbow. So you have to pull your thing, put your thing in the thing. You got to point the thing, drop it. Put it back up, throw the arrow away, dry fire it, run over, take another one, stick it in a zombie's face, let go of it, pull your knife, stab one, let go of that, grab this, pull this out, put it back in the crossbow, aim it, put it out of camera, put it back up with no arrow, dry fire, pick up the, I mean, it's like, it's kind of a math problem. So I mean, he keeps us safe. You know, there's a bunch of people running around with weapons, but the crossbow is it's a tricky one, you know?
Yes.
Is there a particular skill you want to learn for a new project that you're doing?
I'm still doing the same project. Let's see. I did a film called Sunlight Junior right before season 3 started, and another one called Hello Herman. They were both very different, but there wasn't really a skill. I mean, I went real sort of a different kind of white trash for Sunlight Junior. I think my first line to Naomi Watts was, "I can smell your pussy through this glass." So sorry for all that who heard that, but you know, it was constantly like, I'm sorry about tomorrow, I'm sorry about earlier, you know. But as far as like a skill, no, I'm still doing Walking Dead, so yeah, I'm learning the math problems. So.
I'm doing a film with an Indian director named Vinod Chopra, and I play a guy in a wheelchair, so I'm having to get familiar with that, operating a wheelchair as if I've been doing it for years. So it's a different skill set altogether, and that goes to say with all films. You know, every time you take on a character, they have a different world, and a different life, and different life experiences. So you kind of got to familiarize yourself with that, so it doesn't look like your first day doing it. You know, that is one of the technical tasks in movie making. Yes.
I see Roman already met us Belgian beer. The question is, when you're on tour, do you also visit the cities that you are in, like Ghent? Did you already visit it or not?
We were off the plane about 15 minutes, and we were in Ghent at a place called Charlatan. Yeah, we went there, and then we walked across the street to that sign with the monkey. We went to the monkey bar, and then we went to Gloria. So yes, short answer, yes. Before we even came to the convention, we went to Ghent. I wanted to go to Leonidas Chocolates, but they were closed.
Aww.
So hopefully before I get on the plane, I can get a nice supply of chocolate, because I'm not afraid of chocolate.
He likes chocolate.
The best chocolate in Ghent, by the way, is Van Holderbeek.
Say it again?
The Van Holderbeek.
That's a commercial break, never mind. I'd like to know from Norman, I saw you this week on the television in Blade 2. What was it like to work with someone like Wesley Snipes?
Wesley's awesome. He does all his own martial arts, travels with a big posse of people, and he's really invested in what he's working in. He really wants all the, I mean, he takes an executive producer role on that as well, and he really asks the actors what they need to do the best performances they need. And you know, the film was in the very capable hands of Guillermo del Toro, who was also awesome. Like, Guillermo would sit behind the monitor during Wesley's fight scenes and go pow, 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 like a little kid. His sort of attitude is infectious, so everybody's very into what they're doing. But Wesley's great. I loved Wesley. The scene where I punched Chris Christopherson, I was like, oh man, how do I do this? I love Chris. Like I don't even want to do it. And he was like, hit that motherfucker like you hate him. You know, he's great. So Wesley's awesome.
Speaking of martial arts. Speaking of martial arts, that's your cup of tea, isn't it, Sean Patrick?
Yeah. I have 2 martial arts academies in Los Angeles. It's something that I've been doing since I was 9 years old, so it's a huge part of my life, yeah.
So would you be able to kick Wesley's ass, or would it be the other way around?
No, I can kick no one's ass. There'll be no ass kicking.
Let me expand on that answer just a little bit. Sean and I did a USO tour where we went to Dubai and Bahrain and Ethiopia and Djibouti and all these places, and we met the military, who a lot of them are pretty big guys, but a lot of them train martial arts. So I sat at each military base and watched Sean take on rows of military who were just like waiting to get in the ring with Sean, like, my turn, my turn, my turn. And Sean would, first off, he would do all of them in a row and then move to the next town, do all of them in a row. But he would crawl up them, wrap his legs around their neck, choke them to the ground as he was explaining what he was doing. I mean, like hundreds of people in a row. So Sean's kind of a badass.